Okay, welcome back to Slip Joint Display. So, updates and corrections video. Gives me a chance to update you guys on some of the newer knives that I bought. Some of the, ones like the 78 have been around forever, but some of the other ones that were on the channel that I got and were new to me gave me a chance to carry them for a bit so I could update you guys on them. And the video allows me a chance to do some corrections on stuff that I've said that were done that after the fact I realized was wrong. So, I figured doing a video like this was a good chance just to go over that stuff. Just to bring stuff back around and call myself out on a few things. So one of the things that I did that I realized after the fact was incorrect was on the Stag 78 video, the green that develops on Stag I called verdigris. It's verdigris. I didn't realize that the S wasn't silent. Doesn't really matter. It happens with Stag. Whatever. What else have we got? On the same video. At the beginning of the video, I held up this tube cap. Should have been this one, right? Because the knives that I was introducing was the single blades. The double-bladed Stag 78 was still in the video, but I held up the wrong tube cap. Somebody caught it in the comments, so I pinned their comment. Thank you for noticing that. I figured I would go ahead and call myself out on it here. What else have we got? On the 77 video, when I was listing all the releases of 77s, I missed one. There was one in 2019, and I don't think I talked about that when I was going through everything. I think I went back after it was posted, and I saw it. There's nothing I could do about it at that point. Done was done. But I was waiting for somebody to call me out on it in the comments, but it hasn't happened yet. But I figured I would go ahead and just put it here. I thought about commenting, me getting down in the comments and throwing it out there. Somebody did mention it in a comment for the video. They did mention the 2019 run, but they didn't directly note that I had missed it. But yeah, just one more run that I had missed, guys. Great Eastern Cutlery, if you look at how they list the numbers, I think they, from time to time, change it up, and I think that might have been why I missed it. I think I looked at that after the fact, and that might have been what led to it. And the other thing, Cooper Cutlery, Dollar Knife Co. knife. I've still got this thing. I've put this up for sale several times, and it hasn't moved. I've really thought about just sharpening this and carrying it. It is a nice knife. But I mentioned in the video how these were lower priced than GECs. Shortly after the video, I forget why. I think there was a Cooper Cutlery release coming up, and I spoke to Austin from Traditional Pocket Knives. And I just wanted to see when the release was, what time it was, all that. And he mentioned the price, or maybe I asked about the price, and these are actually coming out pretty expensive. I think the price jumped sometime fairly recently. I don't think initially they were this expensive. I think at this point they're like $250 a knife, or maybe $300. They're pretty pricey on release. Now, I got this on the secondary market, so I wasn't even thinking about that. And I think initially these were more moderately priced when they first started coming out, maybe. But on the secondary, I mean, what I've seen these go for is, I don't know, 125 to 150 tops. So it just, even new. And Great Eastern Cutleries normally go for more than that. I didn't realize the difference between the pricing on the primary and the secondary. My mistake. I actually saw somebody in one of the groups on Facebook post about that recently. There was a Cooper release, and somebody commented on the price being high after the fact. They are good knives, guys, and they are American made and hand finished. So, I mean, agree with the price or disagree with the price or whatever. That's your business. But these really aren't bad. They're really done well. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth $250, but they are really nicely done. I still might keep this guy just because I don't feel like moving it for such a low price. I think that's all the corrections that I've got. Maybe more stuff that I missed, but nothing that comes to mind. Yeah, the 93s. Really a great release this year. The patina on this guy has only gotten better. I think I've gotten a fair amount of degree in the gapping that's there. I'm not going to bother putting the light on it, but hasn't bothered me, hasn't been an issue. The action is good, only gotten better. I love this bone. What a great piece. I will say with all the pocket time that the shield has really stayed shiny and reflective. I'm curious if it's made of anything different. I mean, even the bolsters have taken on some patina, but you can see that shield is still reflecting pretty well. I don't know, maybe it's just because it's flat. This is the Desert Ironwood 93. I reviewed this knife on the Boss Steel Blades YouTube channel. If you want to see that, go over to, look up Boss Steel Blades on YouTube, and the review is there. This is a really nice piece. Satin blade, so one of the harder ones to come by. Now, both of these have been sharpened and carried. I haven't been able to bring myself to patina this Desert Ironwood. I was having an issue with both knives with the tips. The very tips were, oh shit. So the very tips were rolling and not holding up through use. And if you get a sheep's foot from Great Eastern Cutlery, oftentimes right up near the tip, the angle changes and kind of goes that way. And so you got to be careful in sharpening. You got to do a little bit of blending in this area to smooth it out. I sharpened both of these the other week, and I thought I had taken care of it, but this tip, well, it just moved for me. But it is rolling. I wonder, you can see the flat. See that flat spot? Yeah. And it's here too. And this is after me taking the knives and drawing them straight into a stone before sharpening and making sure to flatten out even the tip and being really careful to sharpen all of it. Anybody else in the community having this issue with these 93s where your tip is not holding up? I mean, it's definitely there. You can see it, and it's on both of them. And I don't want to hear anything about, oh, well, it's a fine tip, and that's just what happens, because here's a Viper that I carry quite a bit, and nothing. I don't have that issue. The tip holds up like a little needle. Like I said, guys, I just surprised myself sitting here talking with you because I thought I had taken care of that on both of these knives. Maybe more sharpenings? I don't know. You can hear that. Get down in the comments. Let me know if you're having the same issue. I guess these will come back up on the next update video to see where they're at with all that. I really thought I had taken care of the problem. I will say the action on this ironwood is great. It was better from the jump than the bone. Not that there's really room to complain there. Like I said, I can't bring myself to patina this one. But again, it is a Northfield satin model, so maybe I shouldn't patina the blade. What do you guys think? Should I throw patina on it, or should I keep it oiled and keep it clean when I carry it? I'm not going to just set it aside. I mean, I bought it to use it. I love the ironwood on this. Look at that grain. It looks amazing. What do you guys think? I mean, I figure if I really patina the whole thing and just run with that, eventually it's going to be no different than my 2019 models, except for that the pull is shorter. Granted, they're in Cocobolo. I mean, at least the one is in Cocobolo, but still, at that point, what's the difference? I almost feel like this one should stay clean. Let me know what you think about that. Then we have the 32s. This Stag 32 is just out of this world. I feel like this thing deserved its own video. I mean, I feel like it now, you know, after the fact, and I did the video fairly quickly after I got these knives. I mean, they had pocket time, but not as much as they've had at this point. I can't keep these things out of my pocket, especially this guy. Good closing on it. Beautiful Stag. Beautiful example of Stag that gets skinny in the middle, while easily still being considered amazing Stag. Great purling there. Lots of patina on this guy. And the Boss, just, I love this knife. I mean, it's just done so well. I really, best action of the three on the Boss. And it's really stood the test of time. Even, I think this is Cocobolo. But even this one, which is, it's fairly sterile and plain, and it still finds its way into my pocket more than I expected. I mean, there was a point where I thought to myself, maybe I'll move this one, but I found myself wanting to carry it. I really appreciate the 32 run. I mean, out of all the newer stuff, I mean, the 93s are great. Don't get me wrong. And I mean, I love this bone. It's got all the character in the world, but I think that because of the action, the previous run has it over these. But the 32s are just a total home run as far as new stuff that's come out. I even heard guys say that 32s were the best release of 24. I don't know, maybe. Or best new release, at least. What do you guys think? The other thing that I want to talk about briefly is knife storage and what you guys do for that. I mean, you know, it's strange. The only thing that I really worry about relative to the knives is fire. I don't really worry about flooding. That's not really an issue where I live. And beyond that, I don't keep my knives on the floor. So the water would have to get pretty high. And I don't really worry about somebody stealing from me. That's not really a concern either. I think somebody would, you know, take a TV before they would take the knives. But if I had a fire, that would be a big deal. And at some point I started looking into fire safes, and it's a lot of money. And I realized at some point I don't need a fire safe for the safe aspect. I need it for the fire aspect. So I went a different route and started looking into products like this, which, sorry I can't get this all in frame, but this is a document bag that's fireproof. Right? I think this is Century Safe, maybe. Might be the brand. I'm not here to review the bag. I'm just bringing it up because this is a very, very inexpensive option to protect stuff from fire. And certainly the knives will fit in there. I'm just wondering if anybody else has these kind of thoughts, these kind of issues where they say to themselves, what can I store my stuff in to keep it safe, to prevent something like fire damage? Because again, I was looking into it and I started looking at fire safes, which are hundreds and hundreds of dollars. That fire bag is $35. I mean, really not a big deal. And I have a second fire case. It's not a bag. It's more like a briefcase that I'm using now that I keep everything in. This bag is the second product that I got. I was kind of hoping this would be smaller and I could put my best stuff inside of this and put it inside of the other case, but it's a little big. So live and learn. But just bringing it up, what do you guys use? What are your thoughts on it? Do you use a Pelican case or a safe or whatever? You know, where do you land on that? You know, I always ask you guys to get down in the comments and talk about stuff because I want the discussion. At some point on some video early on doing research for one of the knives, I found myself hitting blade forums a lot, reading. And the thought crossed my mind, wouldn't it be nice if there was a YouTube channel where not only was the channel strive to be informative, but if you wanted information and you went down in the comments, you would oftentimes find it. And I thought to myself, man, that would be nice. And so that's why I'm always encouraging you guys to get down in the comments and talk about stuff, say what you think, correct me if I'm wrong, give, more extensive knowledge on stuff. I want the discussion. I want the facts to be down in the comments. I think it would be really cool if people could use the channel as a resource, not only for what I have to say, but for what you have to say. So just wanted to put that out there, that's why I encourage it. I know a lot of people on social, well, I don't know about social media, but YouTube, a lot of people are watchers and tend to stay quiet. I invite you guys to speak up, state your opinions, state facts if you know them, state possible facts, and let us all look into it. It's okay if you're wrong. I mean, we could take it, a piece of information you throw out and look into it more deeply and see if we can figure it out. Anyway, I wanted to do this video. I wanted to touch base on some things. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. What do you guys use for storage for your knives? What are your concerns with it? And how do you approach that issue? I'll see you guys on the next video.